Everyone, welcome to Thursday, and today we're going to take a look at Fletcher Building. That used to be a dream stock a number of years ago, and then it sort of fell from great heights, but I've had a request to look at that, so we will do that in a minute. Now, just an update, just letting you know or reminding you that I have got the Introduction to Investing webinar. That's coming up on Thursday, the 6th of November, and it will be at 7:30 at night. I'll put the link in the description because you do need to join in order for me to be able to send you the workbook and also provide you with the Teams link that we're going to be doing it on. Now, just before I jump across and share my screen, the normal housekeeping, and this is for educational purposes only. No way is it intended to be personalised financial advice. For that, you do need to go and have a chat to your own financial advisor. Right, let's take a look at Fletcher Building. I've got, as I was saying, Fletcher Building up here on the screen, and this is over a 5-year chart. Now, I am recording this on Tuesday morning. The market is just about open, give or take, so it's already down 2 cents for the day. Nothing to get too worried about. Just standing back and looking at this chart, obviously you can see that it's fallen from great heights, which was around sort of May 2021, went through a bit of a sideways period, and since then, look at that, it's just really been falling. Every now and again you do get a bit of a bounce, but that can also be referred to as a dead cat bounce, because at the end of the day you're getting a bounce, and you can see that through this period here, which is June 2022. We've had a little bit of a bounce up, then the fall down was a lot more significant. We had a little bit of a bounce again, then we've fallen again. Okay, and you can see that trend is happening the whole way through. But to get a real idea as to whether this share has perhaps reached a bottom or if there's more to go, I mean, I don't know, but what I do is put the moving average on. So let's put this on. Now, this time, I'm just going to use a simple moving average. I'm going to make that 200. And you can see here that that 200 moving average is on a downward trajectory. The share is trading below that. So that to me means it's still potentially in more downward movement. There's potentially more to go. If I look down the bottom here, you can see these bar charts. Now that indicates the volume, and you can see that last week there was a lot of volume on that sell-off. That is not good. When you see the red bar charts indicating the volume, red obviously means there's been selling pressure, and when they're a lot bigger than those green ones, which indicate buying pressure, that is a negative sign. Not only that, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see we've had 2 red candles in a row. So that's the last 2 weeks. You can just see a little smidgen of a candle forming there, which is the start of this week. For me, if I'm looking at a share and we have 2 red candles in a row, absolute stop. I do not want to go any further and look any more as to what the potential share is showing me. But because we're doing a review on Fletcher, let's keep going. So I'm going to go and change this moving average. I'm going to change it to a 30, and I'm going to change the simple to exponential. All it does is it just puts more emphasis on the latter end of the performance of the share than what it does the earlier performance. And just looking at that, you can see that the share for this week is trading below that moving average. So again, that is quite a negative sign. So again, I wouldn't want to go any further. Let's also put on the 15-week moving average, just so we've got that comparison between the two. And this sometimes does let us know a little bit more as to what's happening. You can see when I zoom in, the blue line is the 15-week moving average, and the share is trading below both that 15 and 30 week. However, it hasn't yet crossed to the downside. And so what I mean there, if I zoom back out, you can see back here at around September 2023, you can see that blue line crossed through the red. So that means that faster 15-week moving average has crossed below, and it's what we refer to as a dead cross, and that means that the share is in a downtrend. Okay, and you can see that happening. We've had a slight cross through, ever so insignificant, around March this year. They've both trended along together. It's fallen down. The 15-week moving average has fallen again down below that 30-week, and that sort of happened around July this year. meandered along, slowly crossed up, and now it does look like it is trading down again. So definitely not something that I would want to be going into. Let's jump across and take a look at the 1 year chart, simply because that brings up daily candles. So instead of those candles being weekly, it brings up daily. And sometimes this paints a little bit more clearer picture. And you can see here, if I zoom in, that blue line is our 15-day moving average. The red is our 30-day. I haven't changed anything other than the intervals. And you can see here that that blue line is about to cross through the red. So that 15-day moving average is about to cross down through the 30. Again, that is definitely a negative. You can also see here that the share on a daily basis is trading well below both of those moving averages. Again, not really very positive. Okay, so these are things to look for when you are evaluating your own shares. Is the share trading above both of those moving averages? Have those moving averages crossed to the upside? So the 15 period has crossed through the 30 period. And is that share an overall upward trajectory? This stage, this one is certainly saying no. I'll just jump onto all, and this brings up a monthly candle. You can see here with Fletcher Building, it hit a high at around May, June 2007, and that had a close back then of about $12.40. But since then, like I've said, it's really headed south. It was paying a dividend. It has stopped paying that. Last dividend that it paid was around September 2023, and it hasn't even been paying dividends yet since then. So like I say, I don't look at the fundamentals. I certainly look at what the charts are telling me, so just that technical analysis. Let's go back to the 5 year, and just because we can, let's put on the comparison to the main board for the New Zealand Stock Exchange. And the reason I'm doing that is simply because Fletcher Building is on our main board, but obviously, as you can see here, this blue line, that's where the NZSX 50's been tracking for the last 5 years. So it's up about 9.37% over that period. Fletcher Building is down 26.35. So again, that would definitely be a big no for me. So I'm going to stop sharing. I really hope that's helped. It's really interesting. I love it when people bring up the shares that they would like me to take a look at, and we can just run my methodology over it. It's certainly not set in stone, but you use it as you see fit. But it's just to give you an idea as to how shares are trending and perhaps whether they are worth investigating further. So I love doing it. So if there are any more shares you would like me to review, let me know in the comments. Happy to do so. And just a reminder, I'd love to see you on that Introduction to Investing webinar coming up on the 6th of November. Just remember to register in the links in the show notes. And until next week, take care.